The pentagram is a five-pointed star, typically drawn with a single continuous line, and is an ancient symbol that has been used in various cultures and spiritual practices for thousands of years. While it has been associated with many different beliefs, it has become widely recognized in modern times as a symbol of Satanism, largely due to its adoption by certain occult and religious groups. In this lengthy explanation, I will discuss the pentagram's history, its various meanings, and how it became linked with Satanism. 1. Historical origins of the pentagram. The pentagram's origins can be traced back to ancient civilizations, including the Babylonians, Egyptians, and Greeks, where it was often used as a symbol of balance, harmony, and divine proportions. Its geometric structure is based on the number 5, which was revered in many ancient cultures for its association with human form, natural elements, and even cosmological systems. Babylonians. The Babylonians used the pentagram as a symbol of the planet Venus, which they associated with both beauty and love, as well as the goddess Ishtar, who represented fertility, sexuality, and war. Ancient Greeks. The pentagram was used in the Pythagorean school of thought, with the philosopher Pythagoras and his followers considering it a symbol of mathematical and cosmic harmony. They believed the number 5 held mystical significance and represented balance in both the natural and human world. It was also associated with the Pythagorean tetractys, a triangular figure composed of 10 points arranged in a specific pattern, which symbolized the organization of the cosmos. Medieval and Renaissance occultism. In medieval and Renaissance European occult traditions, the pentagram became more closely associated with alchemy, magic, and the mystical arts. It was often used as a protective symbol and was believed to ward off evil spirits or negative energies. In the Christian tradition, it was sometimes depicted as a symbol of the 5 wounds of Christ, representing the suffering and sacrifice of Jesus. 2. The symbolism of the pentagram. The pentagram, as a 5-pointed star, carries multiple layers of symbolism. The points of the star are often interpreted in various ways, depending on the context in which it is used. 5 elements. One common interpretation is that each of the 5 points represents one of the classical elements. Top point represents spirit or ether. The 5th element in some esoteric traditions representing the ethereal or divine realm. Upper left point represents air, symbolizing intellect, thought, and communication. Upper right point represents fire, symbolizing energy, transformation, and will. Lower left point represents water, symbolizing emotion, intuition, and healing. Lower right point represents earth, symbolizing materiality, stability, and physical existence. This elemental interpretation of the pentagram emphasizes balance and the interconnection of all aspects of life, reflecting the idea that each element is essential to the holistic nature of the world. Human form and proportions. The 5 points of the pentagram are also believed to represent the proportions of the human body, particularly as described by the Renaissance artist Leonardo da Vinci in his famous Vitruvian Man drawing. The placement of the arms and legs in this drawing corresponds to the points of the pentagram, symbolizing the harmony of human form in relation to the universe. This connection links the pentagram with the idea of human enlightenment and the pursuit of self-realization. Mysticism and esotericism. In esoteric traditions, the pentagram has been used as a representation of divine or cosmic order, where the 5 points can symbolize the balance between spirit and matter, good and evil, or even the reconciliation of opposites. It was seen as a symbol of personal and spiritual evolution, guiding individuals on a path toward enlightenment and understanding. 3. The pentagram and Christianity. The pentagram's association with Satanism and the occult is relatively recent, particularly when compared to its long history of being used as a symbol of good, protection, and spiritual balance. Early Christians often viewed the pentagram as a symbol of divine protection, as it was linked with the 5 wounds of Christ: the hands, feet, and side. However, during the Middle Ages and Renaissance, as the Catholic Church sought to maintain its authority and suppress pagan and heretical beliefs, the pentagram began to be demonized. In some instances, it was portrayed as a symbol of witchcraft, particularly in the context of medieval witch trials, where it was believed to be a mark of those in league with the devil. During this period, symbols such as the pentagram were often used to represent the forces of darkness and chaos, particularly in the context of witchcraft and the perceived threats to Christian orthodoxy. The pentagram and Satanism. The modern association of the pentagram with Satanism can largely be traced back to the 19th and 20th centuries, particularly with the rise of various occult movements. The most notable of these movements was modern Satanism, which gained prominence with the establishment of the Church of Satan in 1966 by Anton LaVey. LaVey and other Satanists adopted the inverted pentagram as a key symbol of Satanism, viewing it as a representation of the rejection of traditional Christian values and the embrace of individualism, personal power, and rebellion against established norms. Inverted pentagram. The pentagram, when inverted, with 2 points pointing upwards and 3 pointing down, is a key symbol in modern Satanism. LaVey's Church of Satan adopted this version of the pentagram as a symbol of the antithesis of Christianity. The upside-down position is meant to represent the inversion of traditional moral and religious values. It signifies rebellion against conformity and the embrace of personal liberty, indulgence, and materialism. For LaVey and his followers, the inverted pentagram represents the embrace of human nature in its most primal form, without shame or restriction. Baphomet. The inverted pentagram is often associated with the image of Baphomet, a deity that became a symbol of Satanism after its incorporation into occult imagery. The Baphomet figure, first popularized in the 19th century by occultist Eliphas Levi, is often depicted with the pentagram on its forehead. Baphomet is a goat-headed figure, representing the duality of human nature and the embrace of both good and evil forces. This association further solidified the pentagram's link to Satanism, as Baphomet became an iconic symbol of occultism and rebellion against conventional religious authority. 5. The symbolism of the inverted pentagram in Satanism. For Satanists, the inverted pentagram represents a variety of meanings, all centered around the rejection of traditional religious dogma and the embrace of individual power and self-determination. Key interpretations include rejection of authority. The inverted pentagram is a symbol of rebellion against authority, especially the authority of organized religion, particularly Christianity. It represents the refusal to conform to religious teachings and an embrace of a more personal, subjective approach to spirituality. Embrace of duality. The pentagram, when inverted, signifies the balance between opposing forces: good and evil, light and darkness, order and chaos. Satanism, in its modern form, does not view these dualities as inherently opposing, but as complementary forces that make up the whole of existence. The pentagram, in its inverted form, acknowledges the existence of both light and dark within the self and the world. Materialism and self-realization. Satanism emphasizes material existence, individual pleasure, and the pursuit of personal goals without the constraint of religious or societal expectations. The pentagram, inverted, is a symbol of human nature as it is, unchanged, unapologetic, and fully embraced in all its aspects. 6. Contemporary uses of the pentagram. Today, the pentagram is widely recognized as a symbol in various spiritual, religious, and subcultural contexts. It is still used by occultists, pagans, Wiccans, and Satanists, though its meaning can vary significantly depending on the individual or group that is using it. Wicca and Paganism. In Wicca and other forms of modern paganism, the pentagram is often used as a symbol of the five elements and the interconnectedness of nature. It is not necessarily associated with Satanism, but rather with the divine forces of nature and the protection they provide. In this context, the pentagram is seen as a symbol of balance, harmony, and spiritual enlightenment. Pop culture and media. The pentagram, particularly the inverted pentagram, has been widely used in popular culture, often in movies, music, and television shows related to horror, the occult, or Satanism. Bands, especially in the heavy metal and gothic genres, have often adopted the symbol to convey themes of rebellion, darkness, and anti-establishment sentiments. Conclusion: the pentagram is a deeply complex symbol with a rich and diverse history that spans many cultures, religions, and spiritual traditions. While it has been used to represent balance, harmony, and divine order in many ancient contexts, its association with Satanism, particularly in the modern era, has overshadowed these earlier meanings. The adoption of the inverted pentagram by Anton LaVey's Church of Satan and other satanic groups has cemented its place as a symbol of rebellion, individualism, and defiance against religious and moral norms. However, it is important to note that the pentagram's meaning is not universally fixed, and its significance can vary greatly depending on the context in which it is used. Ultimately, the pentagram is a symbol that can represent a wide range of ideas, spiritual, philosophical, and even political. Whether it is seen as a symbol of divine protection, personal power, or the forces of darkness, the pentagram remains one of the most powerful and evocative symbols in human history. The pentagram, like many symbols, carries with it both positive and negative connotations, depending on the context in which it is used and the perspective of the person or group interpreting it. Below, I will provide a deeper exploration into both the goods, positive aspects, and the bads, negative aspects, associated with the pentagram, particularly in its historical, religious, and cultural contexts. The goods, positive aspects, of the pentagram. 1. Symbol of harmony and balance. The pentagram is often seen as a symbol of balance and harmony, particularly when understood through its connection to the five elements: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. In traditions such as Wicca, paganism, and various forms of occultism, the pentagram is used as a representation of the balance between nature's forces and the interconnectedness of the world. Spiritual balance. The pentagram reflects the harmony of the universe, where each element, earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, is necessary and in equilibrium. It can serve as a reminder for individuals to seek balance within themselves and in their interactions with the world around them. Positive protection symbol. In ancient and medieval times, the pentagram was often seen as a protective symbol. It was believed to ward off evil spirits and negative forces. For example, the ancient Greeks considered the pentagram to be a sign of health and protection, and many cultures used it as a magical symbol to invoke divine protection and promote healing. 2. Personal and spiritual empowerment. The pentagram, especially in esoteric and mystical traditions, is seen as a representation of self-realization and personal empowerment. For individuals on a spiritual path, the pentagram serves as a symbol of their journey toward enlightenment and unity with the cosmos. The human connection to the divine. The pentagram, particularly when linked with human form, as depicted in Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, highlights the connection between humanity and divine proportions, signifying that humans are part of a greater cosmic order. This can be uplifting for individuals exploring personal growth and understanding their place in the universe. A symbol of protection in Wicca. In modern Wicca, the pentagram is not associated with Satanism, but is rather viewed as a tool of spiritual protection. The point-up position of the pentagram represents spiritual growth and connection with higher realms, helping practitioners navigate their magical and spiritual journeys. 3. Rejection of fear and the embrace of human nature. In the context of modern Satanism, particularly as espoused by Anton LaVey's Church of Satan, the pentagram, specifically the inverted pentagram, serves as a symbol of rejection of oppressive religious systems and embracing personal freedom. Emphasis on individualism. The inverted pentagram is often understood as a symbol of liberation from authoritarian religious dogma, reflecting the value of individual will, strength, and self-determination. For those who subscribe to LaVeyan Satanism, the symbol is about the empowerment of the self and living without guilt or shame. Celebration of the human condition. In Satanism, the pentagram's rejection of traditional religious morality often highlights personal pleasure, indulgence, and the acceptance of human nature, embracing one's desires and instincts rather than repressing them. It's a symbol of not being bound by what some consider moral restrictions. The bads, negative aspects, of the pentagram 1. Association with dark or evil forces. The pentagram's association with darkness or evil is one of the most prominent negative connotations that it has gained, particularly in Christian and certain occult traditions. The symbol, especially when inverted, has often been associated with demonic forces, Satanism, and the occult, which in turn has resulted in a widespread stigma surrounding it. Christian demonization. Throughout medieval and early modern Christianity, symbols like the pentagram were demonized and often linked to witchcraft and heretical beliefs. The upside-down pentagram was seen as a symbol of the devil or a mark of witchcraft, and those associated with it were often accused of practicing evil rites, engaging in dark magic, or even consorting with demons. Fear and stigmatization. For many people, the sight of the pentagram, especially the inverted one, may evoke fear or unease due to its modern association with Satanism and occult practices. This fear often results in misunderstanding and prejudice against individuals or groups who use or identify with the pentagram. 2. Potential for misuse in dark magic or black magic. While the pentagram is used in some traditions for positive purposes, it has also been adopted in darker practices such as black magic, necromancy, and other forms of esoteric rituals that aim to manipulate or control others. The symbol can, in these contexts, be used to invoke or summon negative spiritual entities, demons, or other harmful forces. Occult rituals. Some occult groups use the pentagram, especially in its inverted form, to summon spirits or engage in ritualistic practices that are intended to tap into the darker aspects of existence. While many practitioners of these traditions may see themselves as harmless or seeking knowledge, others view these practices as dangerous or potentially harmful. Encouraging rebellion without a positive moral framework. In the context of modern Satanism, while the pentagram can represent personal empowerment and freedom, it also comes with the potential danger of unquestioned rebellion. In the absence of a moral framework, the rejection of traditional values and the embrace of indulgence or power can sometimes lead individuals down paths of self-destructive behavior or anti. 3. Cultural misinterpretation and misuse. The pentagram is often misunderstood by those who are unfamiliar with its full history or significance. In many cases, people may associate the symbol with evil purely because of its links to Satanism in popular culture, without understanding the more ancient or nuanced meanings it may have had in different traditions. Exploitation in popular culture. The pentagram, particularly the inverted version, is frequently used in movies, television shows, and music to depict dark or malevolent forces. This can lead to the misrepresentation of the symbol and perpetuate misconceptions that the pentagram is inherently evil. Cultural sensitivity. For some groups, particularly those in Christian-majority cultures, the pentagram is often viewed through the lens of religious propaganda or moral panic, resulting in the demonization of people who use it in legitimate or peaceful spiritual practices. Conclusion: the complex legacy of the pentagram. The pentagram is a symbol of incredible complexity, one that embodies a spectrum of meanings, from spiritual protection and balance to personal empowerment and rebellion. It has been used for millennia, with positive interpretations linked to harmony, divine order, and personal growth, as well as negative associations with dark magic, Satanism, and evil. While the pentagram, especially the inverted version, carries a significant stigma in some cultures and religions due to its connection to Satanism and occultism, it is essential to recognize that symbols are not inherently good or evil. Their meaning depends largely on how they are used, the intentions of those who wield them, and the cultural or spiritual context in which they are placed. For some, the pentagram is a powerful symbol of spiritual protection, empowerment, and the pursuit of personal freedom. For others, particularly those within Christian or conservative communities, the pentagram is seen as a dangerous symbol of darkness and evil. Regardless of perspective, the pentagram remains an emblem of the broader struggle between light and dark, good and evil, and the complexities of human nature itself. Psychological effects on humans. The pentagram's impact on the human psyche varies greatly depending on its cultural, religious, and personal associations. Its effects can be both empowering and disturbing, depending on the individual's beliefs and experiences. Positive psychological effects. Symbol of protection. In many esoteric and spiritual practices, the pentagram is used as a protective symbol. This protective role, especially when used with specific rituals or placed in certain locations, e.g., drawn above doorways or worn as amulets, has been thought to ward off negative forces, evil spirits, and bad luck. This belief gives people a sense of security and empowerment, helping them feel safe from unseen dangers. Symbol of harmony. For those in traditions such as Wicca or Paganism, the pentagram is a tool for maintaining spiritual balance and harmony. As a representation of the 5 elements, it signifies the interconnection of all forces in the universe: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. This interpretation can instill feelings of connectedness to nature, the universe, and one's own inner balance, encouraging individuals to live more holistic lives. Empowerment and individualism. Satanism. In the case of Satanism, the pentagram, especially when inverted, is a symbol of personal freedom and self-realization. For those who feel oppressed by societal or religious norms, the pentagram can become a symbol of rebellion and empowerment. This empowerment is linked to the idea of rejecting traditional religious values and embracing the individual self, which some may find psychologically liberating. Negative psychological effects. Fear and superstition. For many, particularly those in Christian or traditional religious contexts, the pentagram, especially the inverted pentagram, can trigger fear and anxiety. In the past, the pentagram was associated with witchcraft, devil worship, and demonic influence. This connection has created a cultural stigma, and those who associate the symbol with evil may experience a sense of dread or unease when encountering it. Perception of evil. In many cultures, the pentagram's inverted form is viewed as a sign of the devil. This perception is reinforced by media portrayals of Satanism and the occult. In these cases, the psychological effect can range from suspicion and fear to moral panic, particularly among those with limited knowledge of the symbol's broader meanings. Cultural misunderstanding. Due to its diverse historical and cultural contexts, the pentagram can be misunderstood. In some cases, people may misinterpret its intent, especially if they associate it with negative influences or groups. This misunderstanding can lead to prejudice or discrimination, further cementing the idea that the symbol is inherently evil or dangerous. Fascinating and lesser-known facts. About the pentagram numerical and geometric significance. The pentagram is deeply tied to mathematics and geometry. The shape of the pentagram is a geometrical figure that can be constructed from the golden ratio, phi, approximately 1.618, a number known for its aesthetic appeal and natural occurrence. The pentagram's geometric properties have been admired for their symmetry, and it's considered a symbol of mathematical perfection. The pentagram in music. The pentagram has made its mark in music too. For example, the 5-line musical staff used to write musical notation is based on the same principles as the pentagram. The symbol of the pentagram also appears in various heavy metal and rock music scenes, with bands often adopting the symbol as part of their visual identity, embracing themes of rebellion and countercultural expression. The pentagram and the tarot. In tarot, the pentacle or pentagram represents the element of earth and is linked to material and physical aspects of life, such as career, health, and finances. The pentacle is used in tarot readings to symbolize grounding, stability, and connection to the physical world. It's one of the suits of tarot cards, known as pentacles, associated with the material realm. A global symbol. The pentagram appears in various cultures worldwide, often with unique interpretations. For example, the pentagram has been used in Hinduism and Buddhism to represent spiritual journeys and the unity of the cosmos. In China, the pentagram was used in early feng shui practices to represent balance and energy flow,